Hey everyone, welcome to the weekend. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to Post Jersey Concept Friday here every single Friday on the channel. This time we've got Stadium Series jerseys. I think it's been a while actually since we've had a Stadium Series collection or series. So I'm super pumped to look at these. These are from Yuri, and there's 32 NHL jerseys to look at. We need to keep an open mind here, okay? An open mind on the Stadium Series designs, because typically they like to push the boundaries. They're extremely modern. They take way more risks than a typical jersey. So let's keep an open mind as we look at these. If not seen these, we will react to these together. And let's jump right in. The first one, Anaheim. Boom, there we go. So we've got, I guess, a variation of the original logo recolorized. No orange. I do get Stadium Series vibes from this, but I almost feel like it's a little bit too subtle. I would expect there to be an aggressive element, I guess, a visually aggressive element in the jersey, because typically that's what we get. But this is, I kind of like this. Like, regardless of series, I kind of like how simple and plain and clean this is. The removal of some of the assets of the logo and just sticking with the mask and the sticks actually kind of works for me. That's not something that I would have personally done if I was, doing this jersey concept. But I like the decision there by Yuri. So good first start. It doesn't scream Stadium Series. I get vibes, but it doesn't scream it. Next, Arizona. Okay, I could actually definitely see this being a Stadium Series. It's extremely vibrant with the colors. Two-tone. A lot of the Stadium Series jerseys are two-tone as well. Clearly, there's three colors here: black, the off-white, and the orange or burnt orange, whatever. But still, there's not a lot of in-depth color matching or anything. We just get a pretty stark and generic design from a color perspective here. I like it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the best Coyotes concept that I've seen, but it's pretty good. Next, the Boston Bruins. I'll say no in terms of Stadium Series. In terms of jersey, I actually don't mind it at all. It is one of the better yellow jerseys that I think I've seen in maybe the past year. I like the shoulders a lot. I think that's the best part. Also, the adaptation of the striping in all sections of the jersey. The white striping, that is. So two thin white stripes on both arms, down below, and on the front of the shoulder. So really great design balance there. But I don't get Stadium Series vibes in this. Next, Buffalo Sabres. Well, it's the GOAT jersey, but it's not really, like, this is tough because it does feel modern, but there's also like a lot of like designs that were over the top modern in the early 2000s to mid 2000s, and this is kind of where this lived. So it still fits in with the general modernism of today's jerseys, but it's not Stadium Series modern. Like, this is just kind of like a previous design for the most part. So I don't really have a lot to say for this. It's very logical, and it would sell very well. Next, Carolina. Well, Carolina has had a Stadium Series jersey, and then they've had that leaked Stadium Series jersey that predated their actual Stadium Series. And I think both were good. I think this is good as well. Again, more of the two-tone vibe here. We get the removal of quite a bit of black. There's just black in the NHL logo, essentially. I think this looks okay. I could definitely see this being in a Stadium Series jersey, but it's not the most Stadium Series of Carolina concepts that I've seen. Columbus Blue Jackets. I actually feel more like this is a Winter Classic, to be completely honest. If I was going to make a Columbus Blue Jackets Stadium Series jersey, I likely wouldn't have any influence of the cannon, because the cannon is that's the classic nature of the brand, is the cannon. That's why there's off-white used in the alternate jersey. And typically, this is going to sound a little bit contradictory, but typically in Stadium Series jerseys, you don't get the letterized logo, and you do see that quite often in Winter Classic jerseys. The only situation that I can think of off the top of my head is the Tampa Bay Lightning Stadium Series that used the bolts kind of down the front of the jersey. But this feels way more like Winter Classic than it does Stadium Series. Series aside, I do like the jersey. I think it's almost got like a classic military feel to it with the letters on there. Oops, sorry if you heard that. It was a notification on my computer. Let's move on. Next, okay, this is Stadium Series. Calgary, wow. This requires a little bit of visual detectivism. That's probably not a word. It's clearly not a word. The first impression I got from this was actually Pittsburgh Penguins, because they've got that early 90s jersey that uses that kind of gradiated like striping section on half of their jersey with the lines in the middle. But clearly it's Calgary. And I don't love the fact that one of these sleeves doesn't have the flames on it. I would have preferred there to be a little bit more symmetry here. Additionally, I don't really like the dark, like maroon, and it doesn't contrast well with the actual red in the logo. Additionally, you have the flames being red with, stroked in yellow, a thick stroke, and then a lighter stroke in black, where the logo doesn't really share that same design language. It's just stark red. There's no stroke to it. There is a drop shadow, which is unrealistic on here, but there's almost like three different designs happening. The maroon stripe in the background, the flame design, and then the logo. They're all just completely different design languages. So to me, this one doesn't work. It looks Stadium Series, but it doesn't work. Next, the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm a little bit conflicted here. There's so much red up top, which does look good. I like the shoulders, but that's almost pulled right from a reverse retro jersey, one of theirs. And then the colorization in the sleeves, clearly that has been pulled from the feathers in the logo. You got orange, yellow, green, red. There's blue in there as well. But because of all like the specialty jerseys that have come out over the past couple of years, specifically the Pride jerseys, this to me looks more like a Pride jersey than it does utilizing color from the logo. And that's not necessarily Chicago's fault. It's just when you arrange the colors like that in a striped design, almost like a flag, that's just the impression that it gives. So I wouldn't really consider this to be a Stadium Series jersey. To me, this looks more like a specialty jersey or something. Next, the Avalanche. What is going on with the texture? That's almost similar to the texture that you see in the Tampa Bay Lightning alternate jersey, the black one. They've got a bit of the rain texture as well, but this it's got this like almost like camo military feel to it or something as well, like a Desert Storm kind of texture. It is Stadium Series with the gradient and with the texture, but I don't necessarily like this jersey concept personally. It feels out of place a little bit. Next, the Dallas Stars. This just looks like a really good alternate jersey, to be completely honest. You probably could use it in a Stadium Series jersey and it would look great, but individually, regardless of series, I really like this jersey. The logo looks great on there, on the white. The shoulders are designed nicely with the striping. You've got that silver stripe in there to complement nicely with the logo. It almost looks like it's got some of that metal fleck texture as well. So I just like this jersey. Next, the Detroit Red Wings. This I could see as Stadium Series, actually. It's very Detroit Red Wings, but it's just spruced up a little bit. And I guess that's what the Red Wings Stadium Series would have to be. I don't think they could do like a super bold design, and I believe they were in a Stadium Series 10-ish years ago, and that was a pretty crazy design, but I know a lot of people did not like it. So I think this is probably the better approach, so I like Yuri's decision-making here. Taking out the white and adding some of the gray seems like a very subtle and easy decision to make, but it's actually surprising how much it changes the branding for Detroit. So I'm okay with this, actually. Next, the Oilers. Now, this is absolutely Stadium Series. I don't necessarily like the design immediately from just like first glance. I like the shoulders, the back and forth yin and yang thing happening with the colorization on the arm. I don't personally like, but it is extremely Stadium Series. I think Yuri nailed this one. I could 100% absolutely see this as a Stadium Series jersey. This is probably the most Stadium Series jersey of all the jerseys that we've looked at so far. Next, the Florida Panthers. I'm going to say no immediately from the series perspective because this is just kind of the Reverse Retro 1.0 in a way. So I like the jersey, but not Stadium Series. Next, the LA Kings. Absolutely. You could use this as a Stadium Series or a Winter Classic, actually. I actually adore this jersey. I really like this jersey a lot. If this existed, this would be one of the ones that I would purchase. Good job on this one. Next, the Minnesota Wild. Man, I so want to like this, but the confliction of shades of green is too much for me. If you had that gradient go from red on the bottom to the same green that we see in the collar and in the logo and in the trees in the bottom, I think I would have liked this a lot more. Right now, it's almost too bright, and I find there's confliction between the two shades of green. But it is absolutely Stadium Series, for sure. Next, the Montreal Canadiens. Well, this one's tricky because The logo itself is such a classic logo. We are dating ourselves back to like 1940 something. Let me look at the date. Well, I was way off actually. It looks like 1913 or 1923-ish range. There's two logos that kind of are similar. So I was off by about 2 decades. However, I get Winter Classic vibes from this. I actually love this jersey. Like I really like this jersey a lot. Now the year that's on the arm, 1909, is the inaugural year of the Montreal Canadiens. So in 2009, that was their 100th anniversary. 2019 was their 110th anniversary. I love that being on there, but that is like the definition almost of Winter Classic, not necessarily, or Heritage Classic, not necessarily Stadium Series. So to me, this misses the mark on a Stadium Series, but I adore this jersey. This is one of the best Montreal Canadiens concepts I've ever seen. I love it. Next, the New Jersey Devils. Well, I think you could use this for a Stadium Series. I would like to see a little bit more. I'd like to see the boundaries pushed a little bit more for the Devils. There's so much possibility that you could use with the Devils, so much modernism that you could just really kind of recreate their brand with. To me, this plays it safe a little bit too much. I like the jersey individually. I'd like to see more. Next, the Nashville Predators. Absolutely. 100%, without a doubt, Stadium Series. The Nashville along the bottom screams Stadium Series. The logo's Winter Classic, but I think it's probably okay. The patches on the arms, their location, just the way that they appear, very Stadium Series in my opinion. I like this jersey only as a Stadium Series jersey. If it was not Stadium Series, I would remove that Nashville from the bottom immediately. Next, the Islanders. You see the Fisherman's Classic. You can't use that in a Stadium Series. I don't think it would fly. I love this jersey as it is. This is a phenomenal concept, but not Stadium Series. That seems to be a bit of a trend so far that I'm noticing so far, Yuri, with your designs. A lot of like really, really good designs, but not necessarily Stadium Series. So good execution, but maybe not good execution on the exact Stadium Series. Let's continue. The Rangers. The first thing I noticed was the dual colorization on each stripe. So 2 shades of blue, 2 shades of red, and then we've got a silver with a white. And that replicates almost the ambiance or the glow of a police car, the police lights rather. You get that intense colorization of the actual light, but then you get the glow on top of that. And New York is very proud of their police force, the NYPD, the fire departments, and stuff like that. There's so much pride. I could see this being a Stadium Series jersey. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more life in it, but it looks good in black. Like I like the striping. The logo looks good on there as well. Good stuff. Oh, one note: the blue that's in the logo does not match either of the blues on the arms, so you lose me there just a little bit. But other than that, continue. Ottawa Senators. This is kind of all over the place, but that's like really the intention of what a Stadium Series jersey is supposed to be. So I'm okay actually with the orientation of all the weird color patches on here. It fits in within the Stadium Series vibes, so good job. Next, the Flyers. Absolutely, this is what I'm talking about. This is Stadium Series. Taking something that's just regular and just expanding on it, expanding on the brand. In this case, literally expanding it, taking the logo and making it huge. That's definition Stadium Series. So great job on this one, Yuri. I think this would look way better in person versus this concept, but I think the concept does look good from a Stadium Series lens. Let's continue. The Penguins. I could kind of see this being a Stadium Series. I could maybe even see this being Winter Classic as well. The logo up top on the shoulders, that's Winter Classic vibes. I wouldn't put that logo on a Stadium Series jersey, but the rest of the jersey I think could probably work. Next, the Seattle Kraken. Yeah, this looks pretty good. The striping in the middle, if you were going to do like a Metropolitans themed kind of Seattle Kraken jersey, I kind of feel like maybe you wouldn't use it in a Stadium Series. Like I get Metropolitan vibes just a little bit from the striping, so I would use that maybe more so in a Winter Classic versus a Stadium Series, but I could see this probably working. The Sharks. Yeah, I think I could see this. I think the logo on the front definitely feels so modern that it almost belongs on a Stadium Series jersey. The rest of it is good. I would like to see maybe a little bit more life. Kind of like the Devils. There's so many brand possibilities that you could do with the Sharks. I mean, you've got water to work with, you've got teeth, you've got waves, you've got blood in the water. Like, there's so many different kind of ideas you could come up with for the Sharks. I like to see almost a scene maybe being created on the bottom of the jersey, just something that's pretty aggressive visually. Next, the Blues. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen a concept that actually takes like striping and makes it into a staff with the actual like music notes on it. I think that might be a first. At least like multiple music notes for sure. I kind of like it in a weird way, but it gives me like warm up like specialty jersey vibes versus a stadium series. It might work, I don't know, but it's a really really interesting approach. Next, the Bolts. Okay, so the Bolts were one of those teams that I said has used the word Bolts or any letters on the front of a stadium series jersey. I think they would be allowed, obviously, to use it again. I think like this is a really good concept because we have it. We have the Bolts actual stadium series jersey to compare it to because it just happened not too long ago. And I'm trying to think in my head which one was better. I actually do like this. I don't love the font right on top of the lightning bolt, but I love the striping and I like the shoulders. There's also a bit of a callback to like the early original brand of the Tampa Bay Lightning here, so with the black and with the shoulders a little bit. So I'm kind of liking the relationship that's happening here. I think both are good in a separate, different way. Wow, we went full Raptors vibes with this. I kind of love it. I actually kind of love this a lot. You've got the Raptors logo being replicated a little bit with the Maple Leaf, and you're using the mid-90s Maple Leaf that the Toronto Maple Leafs used, which I like. It's one of my favorite logos. I kind of like this. I think most people won't, so I'm probably going to be in the minority, but I do like this jersey. Good job. Wow. Now, this has the same texture as the Avalanche jersey that we saw earlier. I'm going to say no to the design and no to the texture. I think I like you pushing the boundaries here on this one. You made the right decision there. This is the stuff that I want to see. And what I want to see doesn't always equal what I like, if that makes sense. So I love the fact that Yuri pushed the boundaries here. He gave us something really interesting to look at, but something that's really interesting doesn't always equal something that's really great. And to me, in my opinion, this one is exactly that. I love looking at this. I love dissecting it. It's a very polarizing jersey, but I don't necessarily like it. And both of those things are okay individually or together, I guess, in an opinion. So I'm grateful of this design, but I don't like it, if that makes sense. Next, the Vegas Golden Knights. No, just that's a very stark no. No, just from the sense that this looks like the Winter Classic 2.0 or the Reverse Retro 2.0 jersey. Just the the white version of it. So I can't say that this looks like a Stadium Series jersey. So we'll pass on this. The Jets. This is a very simplistic design. I think you could probably get away with this actually in a Stadium Series. It's got gradients. It's got two-tone aspects here. It's a simplistic logo, but it's kind of like stylized, interesting. Not a lot of other stuff going on in the jersey. I think this could actually work. It's not my favorite, but it's nice. Capitals, which is going to be our last one. The Capitals have been in, I think, at least one Stadium Series. This definitely looks like a Stadium Series jersey. I would thumbs that up for sure, and I do like the jersey as well. As for my favorite, do I pick my favorite jersey individually or my favorite jersey from the series? Because if it's my favorite jersey, I really like the Montreal Canadiens one. I'll throw that one up there. That is absolutely probably my favorite individual jersey from here. But as far as Stadium Series, this is tricky because there's actually not too many choices in here. I thought there were so many just regular good jerseys for the taking. Just and I don't even know what I'm saying. I can't do two things at once. I'm a guy. Let me look at this. Okay, as far as Stadium Series execution, I think the one that makes the most sense from that lens is probably the Philadelphia one. Just because, I don't know why, but in Stadium Series design lore, people like to make things bigger. And I don't, like the San Jose Sharks one from 2015 or whatever. You took the striping and you just made it huge. The whole jersey is just one big stripe with the middle section being the middle stripe. Like, it's crazy. And then the Tampa Bay Lightning, you take the lightning bolt and you just make it huge on the side. I don't know what the mentality is of making things bigger on Stadium Series jerseys, but it is a trend that is noticeable, and this makes sense. Like, this fits into that trend, and it feels like Stadium Series to me. So it's not my favorite from the lot, but it is, I think, a pretty good execution just from a stadium series standpoint. Let me know down below in the comment section what was your favorite jersey from the series, and maybe what was your favorite Stadium Series actually looking jersey, because I think there's going to be maybe some people who feel the same way as me, where there's some really good individual jerseys, but they don't quite meet the Stadium Series standards. So let me know down below in the comment section what was your favorite from this video and how you feel about it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Hope you have a good day. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Adios.